Hey everyone, welcome back. This is 7th Parallel with another Transformers Prime Beast Hunters review. This time we've got the Cyberverse Commander, Predaking. Not a bad little figure, I have to say, all in all. As you can tell probably by my review so far, I am a big fan of Cyberverse figures. I actually find that more and more, especially with the Prime line, they're really capturing the essence of characters. And you've got like the fast transformation that kind of adds to the enjoyment. You know, you don't have to spend 20 minutes on a really complicated leader or 5 minutes on a really crappy deluxe. You know, it's sort of over and done with, and I do appreciate that aspect to it. But Predaking here is pretty cool. It's got a lot of nice features. It's got a removable weapon, which is also his table. It's got dragon-like aspects to it, and of course sort of a flame thing. Much like the Optimus Commander gun, it's just from friction. So you just push and then out it goes, out it pops, fires, not a big deal. Not great as a weapon, like useful enough, but cool nonetheless. Okay, so we'll put that aside. And here's Predaking. He's pretty cool looking. He's got lots of arm movement, movement at the, a little bit of movement on the wrist, so you can spin his wrist at the elbow. His shoulder pads do adjust. They can go up and down. So depending on the kind of look you're going for, they can be a little bit more flared out or a little bit more muted. His head rotates from side to side. And kind of like the Voyager, if you're not careful, you can just pop it right out. Legs rotate. They're a little bit hampered by the crotch piece, side to side. Good knee movement. The toes do bend, but it's more for transformation, but you can probably get a little bit of a pose out of them. Wings on the back are on a ball joint right here, and you can see the wings are a little bit more feathered. And I've got the Voyager here, so I'll show you the Voyager, but you can see there's a lot more feathering and a lot more detail in the wings. So they don't bend anywhere in here, but they are on the ball joint, so you can get some poses. If you want the wings straight back so that you can't see them, you can do that. But also if you want them a little bit more flared up, like Avenging Orange Angel kind of thing, you can get that kind of a pose out of him too. On the back, the only real issue I have is it's like dragon head kibble. Now in the package, the head is together and upside down, and it moves around, but it really doesn't store very well. You can move it lower on the back, and then you've got like a tail. You can move it higher on the back, but then you've got kind of like a weird helmet piece behind him that really juts out. And again, the head is still out there. Now, points to the instructions, because I usually don't even look at them with Cyberverse figures. I saw in the instructions that you can split his head in half. So the head can be split in half. They're on separate ball joints, right here. So each side has a separate ball joint. So you can split it in half, and that, at least then from the front, you can't see the head as well. Like, I mean, it's still jutting at the back, but you can't see it as well. If you want, you can try and make some sort of Predaking waist gun kind of bizarre movement. So if you bring it down, swing this ball joint around, it can kind of curl up under, and you can be like, look at my weird Predaking Hydra head man boob thing. I don't know. You can do that. What you do in the privacy of your own home is up to you. So, pretty cool. I do like him, despite this. This is the only thing I'm not really a fan of. But it's not enough for me to say, oh my god, he's a total waste. Okay, so transformation is much simpler than the Voyager. The Voyager is always a little bit problematic. Adjust the wings so that they're as out of the way as you can. Pinch the head together if you've separated it. And the head, there's no joint in here, like it can't move, the jaw doesn't open, it's all just one piece. Bring it up, and it's just going to rest right over the head. Now, depending on what you want, you can rotate the head around, or you can leave it forward, it doesn't really matter. But it will come down, and it looks almost like the orange on his crown is supposed to slot into a hole here, but it just doesn't quite make it. Okay, not without a bit of extra force. And honestly, when he's in dragon mode, you don't really even notice it. Okay, then from the arms, you push the wrist down so his hand becomes the back, and then you turn it to the side and you've got a dragon foot. Okay, same thing on this side, hand down, turn to the side, dragon foot. Okay, from here, from the back, you're going to fold down each dragon leg and then flip up each heel. Now there's a tab on the inside of each leg right here and right here that peg into the holes on his lower back here and here. So you just bring it up, watch where the tab is. Goes in deep too, which I like. And then the foot kind of slots under, there's a little bit of a space there, so it slots under there. Same thing on this side, tab, and then there's a connector piece right there, push the two together. Now you'll notice right away that the arm's fully extended. You can be kind of perched up, but he looks a little bit better if you bend both arms down and you get him in a bit more of a crouching position. You can adjust these if you want to be flared out, but I think they actually just look better straight on like that. And then that's pretty much it. Oh, of course, the gun. The gun, there's a tab right here, and it goes into that slot to form a tail. Okay, not the world's best tail. You can take the missile out if you think it makes it look a little bit better. Kind of does, kind of doesn't. I actually don't mind it, although when you do that it looks like he's taking a flaming poop anyway. Which can happen. Maybe he's had a lot of robot chili or something, I don't know. So there you go, there's Predaking in dragon mode. Not bad, very limited in terms of articulation. He's kind of nice just as kind of an ornamental desk piece, like, oh look, I've got like a little dragon that I can carry around. But you're not going to do much with him, because his head is stationary, like it bobs a little bit, and that's only because mine either doesn't or can't clip in. The wings can move up and down a little bit, forward and back, so you can have them down. But that's about it. I mean, you can sort of have them like raised up. Really kind of depends on what you want. Now, luckily, because of the ability of the wrist to swivel a little bit, you can actually get them up so that both claws are on the ground. And you can even like sort of flare out his arms to make him look a little bit more dignified, a little bit more dragon pose. Now these just bend in and out. There's no swivel, so you can't adjust the angle. It's either that or under. That's it. So just however you want him. It's not bad. Like this, I mean, it looks somewhat majestic, but I don't know. For me, he just looks a little bit more natural when he's at rest and he's got all limbs touching. So robot mode's not bad. Dragon mode is it's meh. I mean, it's cool for a Cyberverse figure, but when you get the Voyager in here, and you can already see the size difference. I mean, the Voyager just keeps going. Maybe this is like his illegitimate offspring. But I like the fact that both make use of the tail as a weapon. And you can see the wings, the difference in the wings. And of course, you know, the heads, but even the chests aren't very different. I mean, compared to the Cyberverse Prime, these two actually feel much more closely connected in terms of transformation and in general purpose. So, not bad overall. Okay, so let's do the reverse to get him back into robot mode. Stop knocking that if I can. Okay, so the reverse, I'm just going to untab, separate, and untab the legs. They do stick in there nicely, which is good. And just bring the legs down, pull that in, foot forward, that side, leg down, pull that in, foot forward, and that's most of it right there. You lean it back, you lower the arms, adjust the forearms, lower it, put the paw up. It looks more like a paw than a claw. I'm sorry, Predaking, if that hurts you. that hurts your masculinity any. And that's pretty much it. And then yes, if you want, you can either leave the head intact or you can split it open a little bit. With the wings down there, it actually kind of hides the head, so you know, if you bring it up a little bit more, you can't see it, so maybe that's what people will wind up doing when they get this guy. Even from the back, once you split the head, it's a little bit less obviously a head, and then from different angles you can't see it as much, so play with it and see what you think. And then of course he's got his gun / tail, and there you have Predaking in robot mode. For comparison, here he is next to Commander Ultra Magnus. So they're about the same size, same height. And let's bring in another Predacon. Here is Twin Strike, Center Twin, whatever you would like to call them. And I like the size here. Like it feels like more believable, like these two are working together, as opposed to having the Voyager in here, who just dwarfs Twin Strike. But still, it's kind of cool. Actually, now that I'm starting to build a Predacon army, I really see the appeal to these guys. Anyway, he's out right now in Ontario Walmarts, mostly Toronto GTA area, but when he comes out to your area, if you're into Cyberverse and a completist, pick him up. He's worth it in my opinion. I enjoy him. He's not the best Cyberverse figure I've ever had, but definitely fun to play with. Anyway, thanks for watching. This has been the video review for the Transformers Prime Beast Hunters Cyberverse Commander Predaking.